Okay, a couple of different insights to take away from this. If you are a coach or you're a consultant, I want you to make a decision right now and make a commitment that you're going to stop creating how-to content. Here's why. How-to content attracts people who want to do it themselves. They are not typically buyers. They are not typically people who want to invest in someone else doing it for them. Otherwise, they would be looking for completely different content. People who are looking up how-to content want to do it themselves. So if you're creating a lot of how-to content, how to do X, Y, and Z, what's happening is you are actually repelling, you're pushing away people who want to buy. So your content's not converting into clients, typically because it's a lot of how-to content. The other thing I'll say is, so what content does convert, right? What do you create to convert content? Well, there's a couple of different categories of content that you absolutely should be sharing on social media. And they're kind of split into 4 different buckets. So if you're taking notes, go ahead and write this down. The first is credibility. Credibility. This is your own certification, your own story of experience. This is testimonials and case studies. If you have not posted a testimonial of the work you've done to get someone else results in the last 30 days, do it today. I worked with Doug, and Doug came to me for this problem. And so we solved it by, we used my framework, which is, X, Y, and Z, ended up getting him this result. Now he's incredibly happy. If you want these results too, let's connect. Okay, so case studies, testimonials, your own personal experience and journey, as well as any like certifications or anything that really elevates your brand, your kind of reputation elevation. And so credibility is super key. Start creating more case studies, start creating more testimonies, and start sharing your story of how you've gotten results using what you teach people. Here's the really key thing about this. You will get tired of your story way faster than anyone else gets tired of your story. Why? Because it's your story. You've lived it. Now you're telling it again and again and again. And for some people, the first time they're hearing it. So for example, I just shared a little bit of my story. I can't tell you how many times. I've probably said it hundreds of times now. And yet I know there's someone listening. It's their first time hearing it. They're not tired of your story. So you'll get tired of telling your story a lot faster than they will. So just keep telling it. Tell it again and again and again. So number 1, credibility. Number 2, personality. I cannot tell you, we audit people's Facebook profiles and Instagrams and LinkedIn's, and all they post about is their business. That's the only thing about their personality that they post is business, 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 business. But here's the truth. People like to buy from friends, or people like to buy from friendly people. And so become a friend, share things about your personality. And what we call this is your joyful 5, okay, or your Fab 5. The things that you love talking about, the 5 things you love talking about that have nothing to do with business. So for example, my 5, 1, I love talking about Star Wars. I could talk about Star Wars all day, every day. Number 2, family. I love talking about my wife and my daughter. She's just about to be 4 months. So I love talking about what our parenting styles are, our parenting philosophy, what we're learning as, she's growing up and as we're growing as parents. I love bragging on my wife and my daughter. And so my family. Number 3, swimming. Before my daughter was born, now kind of my schedule was kind of hijacked a little bit by this newborn bundle of joy. Before, I was swimming 2 miles a day, and I had this mission. I was going to swim at least 300 miles this year or last year. And so I was posting about my swimming journey and what I was experiencing as a swimmer and what I was finding as an athlete and as a professional swimmer. And my identity shifts through that process. Number 4, I love talking about leadership. Now, I deal with mindset, but I love talking about my own personal leadership and how I'm leveling up as a person, as a husband, as a father, as a boss, as a coach, etc. Not talking about my programs, not talking about my offers, my own leadership. And then the 5th thing I like talking about is travel. I love, trying new foods. I was just in Vegas the other day, had this amazing Mexican dish and Mexican dessert, and it was amazing. Here's why I share about personality. It's because it creates the know, like, and trust factor. Oh, you're a real person. Oh, you're living life. Oh, guess what? Their conversation starts. I can't tell you how many times I've been in a sales conversation and it's a 30-minute conversation. 29 minutes of it is talking Star Wars. And just 1 minute is, okay, I'm ready to sign up. Here's my card. Let's do it. When you start talking about personality, you should actually start talking about your Fab Five. I want you to give you this homework assignment. Identify the 5 things you like talking about that have nothing to do with your business. You'll immediately see your engagement go up. You'll immediately see more conversations get started. You'll immediately see more people actually want to hang out with you and talk with you. All of us have been around that one person where they are one track. They only talk about one thing. Every time you meet with them, it's just that one thing. This is kind of boring. So allow your personality to shine and flourish. So the first category content is credibility. The second is personality. The third is vulnerability. This is the story that you would tell on the corner of the street if you had one thing to say and you had the entire world in front of you listening. This is the story you would tell if you could only tell one story. For me, I like talking about my own mental health journey, about how as a teenager I wanted to end my life, about how I have scars on my wrist to prove how little value I gave my life, and that there is hope no matter who you are or where you're at, no matter what you're experiencing or dealing with at home or at work or at school, wherever you're at in the world. The one thing I want every single human on this planet to know is, one, you are loved, there is hope, and you deserve to live a life of abundance just like everyone else. And you can. And so vulnerability, sharing from your own space. And what this does is it gets people to say, wow, I don't just know you. I know you know you. Like, I really know you. And then the fourth category is charity. And that is how you are serving the world without any expectation of a return. So for example, me and my wife, we both have separate businesses. We both pour into a scholarship fund that we give to people of color or people who are disadvantaged, who typically don't get access to college education. And so we have no expectation of getting anything in return for that, except for maybe a thank you letter. We are just pouring in and giving. And that's how we serve the world. And so those 4 categories will start conversations, get you more engagement, and start turning people likes into leads, followers into actual buyers from you. Here's the last tip I'll give. Every single piece of content, every single one that you publish should lead people into a conversation with you. Why? Because when you're in conversation, you're not competing with everyone else posting content, because it's just you and them. So lead them into conversation. Message them and say, oh my gosh, you popped up on my feed today. How's everything going? You liked my thing. Thank you so much. Tell me more about what you're working on. I guarantee the more conversations you have, the more clients you'll land. Anytime someone says, Shawn, I haven't landed clients, I'm posting on Facebook, the number one thing I'm asking is, how many conversations have you had with potential clients? None. But I'm live streaming. Great. Live streaming is amazing. And go get into conversation. The more conversations you have, the more opportunities you'll create, the more clients you'll land. Guaranteed.
Yeah. Relationships equal revenue.
Exactly.
I loved it. I think anybody that did not take notes already, go back. If you're watching the replay of this, go back, rewind, take the notes and listen. That is one of the best interview questions answers. It's basically a course in content creation. So just rewind, take notes, and then go execute on what Shawn just said, because your business is going to grow if you do it. So
yes. And there's a lot of questions that typically come up. Oh, how many times should I post about? Here's kind of a quick breakdown. So if you're posting once every 7 days, 3 or 4 of those days should be personality, and then just 1 day the other things. So 1 day credibility, 1 day vulnerability, 1 day charity. Personality should shine beyond anything else. It'll start more conversations than you can imagine. Another question comes up is, okay, should I post on all the platforms or just one platform? or like which platform. My recommendation is is the power of one. So one platform, and go all in on that platform. For example, if you're using Instagram, use every feature on that platform. There's reels, there's posts, there's stories, there's close friends stories, there's messenger, there's highlights. Use every feature on that platform. If it's on Facebook, then use every feature on that one platform. Groups, pages for your profile. There's stories now. You can do reels on Facebook now, which is incredible. There's messenger. Use every single feature on that one platform and own the platform. What's going to happen is when you own that platform will actually give you algorithmic favor. It'll say, hey, you really like our platform. You're keeping people on our platform. So let's show more of your content to more people. If you're trying to be everywhere, you're going to be nowhere. Be really, really, really present and use every single feature on just one platform. And I guarantee it'll free up your time and you won't miss a single client. It's a lot of fears like, well, but my people are on both platforms. Or I don't know, there are billions of people on Facebook. Do you think just like maybe 100 of those billions of people are your clients? Very likely. So just show up on Facebook, or just show up on LinkedIn, or just show up on Instagram. Just be on that one platform. And here's what's really cool. There are people who only create content on YouTube. I go to YouTube knowing that and search them up and look at their content on YouTube. Your people, when you start creating really high quality content, your people will go to the platform you've chosen to go watch your content.
Yeah, that is awesome advice. A lot of people have been exposed to Gary Vee, right? And they see Gary Vee's everywhere. So they get this false thing that they need to be everywhere, like Gary Vee, but it's not true.
Yeah. And here's the truth about Gary Vee. He has 14 full-time social media managers, and he pays them each anywhere from $60,000 to $250,000 annually. I don't got Gary Vee money. Maybe you do, but I know I don't. So I can't compete or be everywhere that he is, which means I have to be very strategic about where we're at on social media. Now you can repurpose content. You can, like, if it's an auto thing, like, oh, it automatically goes, no problem with that. But make sure your quality time of social media is just one platform.